everyone, welcome to Sweet Tomato Vine Homestead. I'm Linda, and today I am inside the house and we are gardening inside the house. Y'all, I have been gardening and growing food inside of my house for about the last 6 months, and I am enjoying it so much. I have some food that is growing in hydroponic system, and now I have started planting food in soil and putting it inside the house. I've always been starting seeds inside the house, but now I'm actually growing the food inside the house. I have some tomatoes growing, I have some peppers growing, I have cucumbers growing, I have asparagus that is growing inside the house. And so it has just really gotten excited, and I just can't stop now. I have decided today that I am going to be planting some more food inside the house. One thing that I'm going to be planting today are microgreens. So we're going to go ahead and get started on a microgreen. I'm just going to start by simply putting in some soil. I'm going to be using a seed starting tray for my microgreen. You can use different trays for your microgreen, but you want to have something that has some drainage holes in it. And so I decided, why not just go ahead and use these seed starting trays, because they already have drainage holes in them. So I'm going to go ahead and fill up my seed tray with some potting mix. And I'm just using a regular potting mix. This is not a seed starting mix or anything like that. It's the same potting mix that I've been using to start my seeds. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my tray filled, push my soil down into my tray, and then I'm going to make sure that it's pressed in here lightly, and then I'm going to go back and refill it, because I want this seed tray filled with soil. I don't want any gaps in here. I want it completely filled with this soil. Reason is because I'm going to be putting a lot of seeds in here, and I don't want them to sink to the bottom of this container. Now, there are different seeds that you can use to start your microgreens. You can use something like this. This is some cress. It just depends on which ones you want to use. You can use some radish seeds. You can use some seeds that are made specifically for growing microgreens. What I'm going to be using are my regular seeds today. I'm going to be using my regular mustard green seeds, but I will be using some broccoli microgreen seeds. And these are some that I purchased in bulk. When you're planting those seeds, you want to make sure you have enough seeds. You don't want to just have a few seeds, because it's going to take a lot of seeds to make those microgreens, because you're going to plant these seeds very close together. Planting those seeds thick in your container is how you're going to get your microgreen. And y'all, microgreens are really going to come in handy if you are trying to get in your greens every day. Because as we get busier, our schedule gets so busy that sometimes we forget about getting our greens in. So by having microgreens, you can have some greens at your fingertips, some that you don't even have to cook. You can take these microgreens, and if you're eating something, maybe it's a food that's not so healthy, a slice of pizza, but you can just snip off some of these microgreens once you get ready to take a bite of your pizza. Just go ahead and snip off some of these microgreens, put them on top of your pizza, and therefore you've gotten in your green. Even if you're having a burger, snip off some of these mustard greens and put them onto your hamburger. They taste very delicious, and that way you still get your greens. And so these are some ways to make sure that you're getting your greens, because we need to make sure that we're getting our greens in every day. Okay, I want to make sure that my seed tray is filled all the way to the top with my potting mix. And then you have to remember that once you put water in it, your soil level is going to go down. So the best thing to do to remedy your soil level going down when you're putting in your water is to go ahead and put your water in. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some water in the bottom of this tray. And then I'm going to put my tray back in and continue to push that soil down so that it can start to wick up your moisture in the tray, your water that's at the bottom, and then your soil can start going down if it's going to go down. And then you can go ahead and put in more soil, because as I said, you want that soil to be all the way up to the top. Don't think you always have to have seeds that were made especially for microgreens. You can use your regular green seeds, like your broccoli, you can use your cauliflower, any of those brassica seeds, those tiny seeds that you use, you can go ahead and use them to grow your microgreens. And the key is to make sure that you plant them in very thick in your container, so that these greens are not going to get all the way to the size that they would when you plant them out into your garden. They'll just get to the height of your microgreens because they're going to be planted so close together. So, meaning you don't have to run out and purchase some more seeds if you've already got some brassica seeds. Now that I have my soil leveled off, it is all the way to the top of this container. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add in my green seed. I'm going to be mixing these in this container. I'm going to be mixing my broccoli seeds and my mustard seeds. I'm going to do half on one side and half on the other. And so I'm just going to sprinkle these seeds on top, pretty thick. Okay, so those are my broccoli microgreen seeds. And now these are my curly mustard green seeds. I'm going to do part curly in the middle, and then on the end I'm going to do some of my red mustard green. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of these seeds on. And that is my curly. Those are my curly mustards. Okay, the last one I'm going to be putting on here are my red mustard green seeds. These are some red mustard green seeds, and they are the red giant mustard green seeds. So I'm going to put them on here. Gonna sprinkle them on kind of thick. When you plant these brassica seeds thick, that's going to make the plants be small. And we still have a lot of red mustard green seeds in here. These red mustard greens were sent to me by Cynthia. Thank you again, Cynthia, for these seeds. I am enjoying these red mustards so much. Got a lot of them in the garden, and now we're going to be having some growing inside as microgreens. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put these on my grow station, but for the first night, I'm not going to put them underneath the grow light because they don't really need light to germinate, but I'm only going to leave them from under the light for one night because I don't want them to start reaching for the light and get leggy. I want these to be some compact, and I want them to grow thick and compact, not leggy at all. I'm going to keep the light off for one day, then I'm going to put the light on them. I expect them to germinate very quickly, so I'm only going to leave them off for one day, and then I'm going to put the light on them the next day. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put these on my grow station, and I'm going to get ready to plant some more food to grow inside the house. Okay, next we're going to be planting some onions to grow inside the house. And these are the onions that I'm going to be planting in this container right here. Make sure that when you're planting and growing your food inside the house, that you have your saucer up under your pot to catch your water so that you can have good drainage in your container, and something to catch that water that's going to be draining out. You don't want water leaking all over your house, so go ahead and put your saucer up under there. But these are the onions we're going to be using. First, I'm going to go ahead and fill my container with some soil. Okay, so how close you plant your onions together is going to decide the size of your onions. So if you plant these really close together, then don't expect to get any big onions off of this. Just mainly, be growing them for your tops. But you can plant these far apart, and with the proper lighting, you can achieve a decent sized onion. Probably not gonna get those big ones like you get outside, but who knows? You could probably it's possible that you could. So what I'm gonna do to increase my chances, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put some of this Dr. Earth in here. And you know, I told you all that this Dr. Earth does not smell bad. So you can use this Dr. Earth. Now, make sure you get the right one because there are some that smell pretty bad. This is the Dr. Earth Pure Gold Organic and Natural All-Purpose Fertilizer. And this one says it's for flowers and vegetables, but it does not have a bad smell, and it is ground up. Now, I have had some of those that are kind of like pelleted, and they smell pretty bad. So, you know, you make sure that you get this one. Just make sure that you check to see how it smells before you put it inside the house. This one does not smell at all. This one really has it just has an earthy smell. Not bad at all. Does not smell like any of the manure, chicken manure, or any of that. So that is what you want to, if you're going to be planting stuff inside the house and using fertilizer. I am going to put in some of my bone meal. My bone meal may arrive safely to me. I did not order the big one that I usually order, but it is, you know, it's a nice size. It's going to last me for a while. So I did go ahead and get some bone meal. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some of my bone meal in here because you know that phosphorus is going to help. It's going to improve the growth of these roots. As I told you all, when I was planting my onions out and I had those onion sets, I did save some of these. So I'll be planting some of these also. I saved some of these little sets. I saved some of the red, white, and the yellow onion sets. This is what they look like. But today, I'm going to be planting these right here. And these are some that I started from seed. And so I'm just going to be putting them in. And like I said, it depends on how big you want your onions, how close you plant them in this container. Because you know this is, you see this is a small container. So you know you can't get, not going to be able to get 20 onions in here. So I bought in a handful, but I'm going to see how many I'm going to put in here. Because although I do plan to use this mainly for my tops, y'all know I'm shooting for them onions. I want those onions. I want some nice onions. So we're going to see if we can get some nice onions inside the house. This is where they're going to be growing. Now, what I am going to do, though, is I'm going to go ahead and try to get my biggest plants. I was just kind of putting them in here, but you want to choose your nicer size onion starts. Just going to push it in. Okay, this is a nicer one right here. See, it got a, is that two? No, that's just one. It has a nice root on it. So put that one in, and I think that's all we're going to be able to get in here for even a decent sized onion. I'm going to put one more. I got this one right here, y'all. I don't know why I just can't stop when I'm ahead. I always got to try to push one more. We're pushing one more. So let's go ahead and push this right here. Okay, so now I got my onions planted. I still got... Look, now see, I got some onions left over here. These tiny, y'all. These are real tiny. Y'all, we're going to go ahead. We're going to put these little few in here. I just can't help myself. I tried, but I just couldn't do it. I'm just going to push these over in here. And like I said, we are actually trying to get the tops. But I think my thing is I just can't, it just looks so skimpy to me. That I just, and you know, it's sometimes you have to let it look skimpy for a while and then it fills out and it give you a good harvest. But it's something, I just like to see it looking full from the beginning. So it's kind of like wanting to have your cake and eat it too. But we do have some onions planted outside. So if we don't get no big onions in here, we're going to get some big onions outside, y'all. We're getting some big onions outside. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some water on these. Get them watered in. Because you know those onions like water. I had one fell over. Just kind of give it a little support. But you know they all going to lay over anyway, and then in a few days they'll kind of get their strength and start to pepping up. And these were outside. I had taken these outside where I had my onions waiting. These were waiting to go into the garden. So these were some I just went out and plucked out of my seedlings that are outside. Really harden it off because, as you know, it's cold out there. It's like 30, 35 degrees. I think 35 was our high today. So, yeah, they're outside getting cold, and now they came back in the house. So they might go into shock. They're probably going into shock, but they should go into a happy shock getting from outside back inside. But onions, they like this cool weather. So I don't know what they're going to do, but we're going to take them, put them on the grow stand. And I have a label right here that I'm going to stick in here. Can y'all guess what we're planting next? If you said garlic, you are right. We are planting some garlic inside, y'all. We are going to see if we can grow us some garlic inside. Even if we just get some garlic tops, it'll be great. But you know we're going for some garlic cloves. We would like to get some garlic cloves out of here that we can take out and use in our kitchen. Because that is what we're doing. We are growing food to eat. We are growing spices. We're going to be growing spices. We're going to be growing seasonings. We are going to be having, I want to have food at my fingertip. When I don't want to go outside, there'll be something inside that I can harvest. Get me some greens inside the house that I can eat and not have to step outside in the cold if I don't want to. Although I will be going out there because I've been out there today and it was 35. But y'all, I'm serious. After you stay out there for a while, it don't feel like it. But you don't want to get sick. So you have to come on back inside the house after a while because, like I said, your body starts adapting to it, but you still can get sick. So I don't want to get sick. So I came on back inside and decided that we were going to go ahead and do what I had originally planned to do. Because what I was about to do, I was about to clean a bed out and start planting some stuff in. It really was too cold for that. And it was in the afternoon too, so I decided, well, I better go back inside the house. Oh, but I am also going to be, since I'm going to be planting garlic in here, I do need to amend this soil. I want to just give me a nice foundation. I want to make sure I got my soil level up. This garlic is going to need to be fed. Garlic is a heavy feeder, so it needs to be fed. It's going to need some nice soil. Going to need some of this Dr. Earth. Go ahead and put that in. And put in a nice handful of this bone meal. I'm going to work this bone meal in. Your onions and your garlic will thank you for this phosphorus. Now, if you got some banana peels or something that you want to put in here, you can go ahead and put some banana peels underneath your soil. I used up all mine. Well, I do have some that are outside in a bag outside. I'm not going to go out there and get them right now. So, but that would be a good addition to this soil, is to put some banana peels in here. You can also, you got some eggshells. You can also put some eggshells in the bottom of your soil. But since this is going to be inside, we don't want anything smelling rotty. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to leave this like this for now. But here's my garlic. You just want to break your garlic cloves up. And y'all, these are some nice sizes. Now this, I think I need to take this outside, put it in the garden, because these are huge. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna stick them in here. I'm gonna space them out. There's one, and I can see where they are by my indentation in my soil. I'm gonna space them out. So since this don't matter how full this is not gonna look full anyway. I can't go ahead and space this out without worrying about it's not looking like it's full. But it does kind of make me want to go and get something and plant on top of the soil. We're not going to do that either. Go ahead. I'm going to stick these in here. Remember to put that flat side down. Put the pointed side up. I think I probably get about 6 in here. So I already got 3. And y'all, the rest of these gonna go in here. The rest of these gonna go in here in a meal. I love garlic. Okay, so I'm gonna just push it down in here. You wanna make sure there are no, make sure you don't put any in here that don't have, that, you know, that hollowed out or anything like that, just like you do on your onions. You wanna make sure that they're, and these, y'all, these are huge and beautiful. Seems like that's two, but that is just one clove. This should make some pretty decent cloves. I'm only gonna be able to get 5 in here. Okay, I'm just gonna cover these back up. I got my saucer in here. Go ahead and water them in. And y'all, I am so excited right now. Because once you start growing food inside the house and you see what you can grow, it just makes you want to grow more. So, y'all, I don't have a large growing space to grow things inside the house. Now, if you have a sunroom or something like that, I urge you to fill it to the max with food, if you possibly can. If you are open to that, because I know some people, they have things decorated so beautifully and they don't want any soil or anything in their presence and inside the house. I understand that. But me, if I had a sunroom, it would be bursting at the seams with food. It really would. So that is what, I'm just going to use the small space that I have, the small space that I have to grow this food inside the house. I'm going to use it. I'm going to have it busting at the seam. It's basically already bursting at the seam. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you all the area, and I'm going to harvest a few of those things, not because I need to harvest them, but not because I don't really want to harvest them right now, but I need to harvest them because once you have something growing, especially like peppers and tomatoes, you need to go ahead, harvest them once they get ripe on the vine, because if you don't, you're sending a message to that plant that the plant is finished. We're not doing it anymore. We are finished. It's because your cycle is complete. And once that plant gets that message, it'll stop producing the fruit on the plant for you. So you want to go ahead, when something when something has ripened to the max, go ahead and harvest it. And that's what some of my tomatoes have done right now. I have a couple tomatoes on one plant on my tiny Tim. I have one on another plant. I have a banana pepper that has ripened. It's huge for that little plant. Also, I'm going to be putting some stakes on my plants and staking them up. I have some little, I finally got in some of the little clips that I'm going to be clipping my plants to a stake, because those plants are getting huge in there. Those plants are getting too big, and they're needing to be staked up now. They've gotten to the point now they need to be staked up. So I'm going to be staking those plants up. But y'all, I am having a ball. I'm having a great time growing this food inside the house, having a great time growing food on the outside of the house. I am just excited about gardening right now. I always am, but it's more now since it's cooled off, because during the summer, I didn't get a chance to enjoy the gardening as much as I wanted because it was so hot and I could not get out there. But now, since it's cool, I can get out there. I can enjoy that garden even more. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to make me a label for this garlic. And now we are going to plant carrots. So this is the container that I have chosen to plant my carrots in, and that is just so that it can give them enough room so that in case they are going to grow big, that they can grow big in this container. I've never grown carrots inside the house before. I really don't know what they're going to do, but I'm going to give them every chance that they can by giving them something that's deep enough. Wouldn't do me any good to try to plant these carrots and then plant them in a shallow container, knowing that those carrot roots will go deep if they're given a chance to. So that is why I chose this container. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and fill this container to the max. Okay, anytime you're planting carrots, you want to make sure you got some light and fluffy soil. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to amend my soil with some of the bone meal. Be generous with my bone meal. Also add in some of my Dr. Earth organic fertilizer. Now I want to work it into my soil. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to moisten my soil. Okay, so we know we have a small container. We don't have very much room in this container for a lot of carrots. I definitely don't plan on coming back and thinning out these carrots. So what I'm going to do is something I've never done before, is I'm going to count out my seeds. And I'm going to be using these Nantes. Okay, carrot seeds are very small. Okay, I have approximately 20 seeds in my hand. And this is all that I'm going to put in here. So I'm just going to drop them in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That wasn't 20. Okay, so I got about 5 more, and I'm just going to sprinkle those in. Okay, now I'm going to press them down into the soil. That's just a few seeds. I got to make sure that I don't get these on my hand, because I don't want to have any carrot seeds stuck to my hand, since I didn't put that many in here. And once I start seeing the germination, and if there are not enough in here, I can always go back in and start a succession plant of these same carrot seeds. So I'm going to go ahead, label this carrots container. And all this is going to have to go ahead and go to the grow stand, because I don't have any room for anything else. So when I come back, we're going to plant some walking onions. And these walking onions, I'm going to plant them. They're going to go outside. I'm going to plant them and get them started inside the house, but they will be planted outside in the garden. Because walking onions is one of the plants that if you plant them once, then you will always have walking onions in your garden. And those are some things that we need to concentrate on also, is planting stuff that once we plant it one time, we can go ahead and continue to have it. As a matter of fact, I also have some artichoke seeds here. I'm going to plant walking onions and some artichokes. Go ahead and get both of those planted in so that we can have those. Those are both going outside, but right now we're going to start them inside the house, put them on the grow station, and then when they get big, we're going to take them out and plant them into the garden. And don't forget about your vermiculite. This is going to help with algae growth, dampening off, and fungus nests. Okay, now we're going to plant some walking onions and some globe artichokes. I'm going to go ahead and fill my trays with some potting mix. Okay, get my soil pressed down in here real good. And once I get it pressed down, then I go back and fill the rest of the way. And make sure that your containers are full when you're planting, when you're starting your seeds, because otherwise your seeds can get lost down in the bottom of your tray. And then you'll be wondering why you're not getting any germination. It's because your seeds are lost. So sometimes we don't get germination. It's just something simple. So you want to make sure that you try to cover all those bases to make sure that you get the best germination possible. And one way to do it is to make sure that your trays are filled and that your soil is pushed down into your container. You're not leaving any air pockets. You'll end up using more soil, but it's gonna pay off in the end. So you want to make sure that you try to keep plenty of soil on hand. Okay, so now we got our trays filled. Go ahead and get our seeds. And these are the walking onion seeds. And I'm going to put all these walking onion seeds on this tray right here. I'm just going to sprinkle them onto this tray, all of them. Because there are not that many. I really want to get onion seeds in bulk. Because it seems like it's just, that is something that's hard to find, is onion seeds in bulk. And when you find them in bulk, if you do find them in bulk, they're going to be so expensive. So I would like to find a reasonable priced bulk onion seed. That is all of my walking onion seeds. That's why I want to plant an onion like this, that once you plant it, you'll always have onion. This onion is going to multiply. It's going to continue to come back every year. It is a perennial onion, and it continues to make more onions. That is what is called a walking onion. So that is my first, that is the first seedling that I want us to get started. I'm going to go ahead and put the date on the back. I don't know what the date is 12/3. Go ahead and put the date on here when I started these walking onions. And now I'm going to plant these globe artichokes. I planted globe artichokes before and got germination, got it into the garden, but that year we had a real hard freeze and my artichokes did not come back. So I have never been able to get a harvest off of my artichoke. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant one seed in each one of these trays. Each one, I'm just going to put one. I'm putting one in each one. So I'm planting 12 globe artichokes today. I'll probably go ahead and plant the rest of these, because once you plant something like this, you want to go ahead and get them planted. I should have gotten a big tray and went ahead and planted all of these globe artichoke. Things like globe artichoke, rosemary, lavender, asparagus. When I plant those, these are perennial seeds. There's no need for me to keep coming back and planting again. Go ahead and plant all of them and then come back. You know, then you'll get all of them planted out into the garden. So I'll be going ahead and planting the rest of these, but these are the ones that I'll be planting right here with you all right now. Since this is the amount of since this is what I went and got. I'm just going to cover them up. Go ahead and put my vermiculite on top. I'm going to be watering my tray from the bottom. So these trays will wick this water up. I'm going to go ahead and make 2 labels for my artichokes. And we're going to go up front and harvest our tomatoes and peppers out of our indoor garden. Okay, most of the stuff in the indoor garden is looking about the same, except for how tall these plants are getting. So I will be staking these plants up. But the amaryllis have gotten so tall, they are about to open up. So we'll be having amaryllis flowers real soon. But this pepper right here, this is a banana pepper. I'm going to go ahead and harvest this banana pepper. Also going to harvest these tomatoes. And I'm going to harvest these cayenne peppers. Because I don't want these plants to think that they are through producing fruit at this early stage. So I'm going to go ahead and get these fruits off so these plants will continue to make fruit. Now this pepper right here, this is my purple bell pepper. It is still real tiny, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this one on. But I'm going to go ahead and harvest this tomato off of this tiny TM tomato plant. And they are perfect tomatoes. And these plants have a lot of flowers on them. So we'll be getting a lot of peppers soon. This one is the HISEA pepper plant. In the back that's getting so tall is the Pippin Golden Honey. So this is our harvest from our indoor garden. And I'm excited about getting our harvest. And it was mainly, as I said, to keep these plants from thinking that it was time for them to stop producing. So I hope that y'all have enjoyed this video today and that you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And go ahead and hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.